Hi friends, welcome to another video of Codiligent. As you are aware that we are progressing in our LINQ series, so we have seen almost all the important concepts of LINQ. But I thought before ending this series, I will introduce you guys to the enumerable class and few important methods of LINQ which will be very helpful when you are coding. So let's see what exactly is this enumerable class. So enumerable class is a simple class which is provided in the LINQ namespace, that is system.linq, which contains a set of static methods which are useful while working with objects who are implementing IEnumerable. That means kind of a list, dictionary, or a collection kind of objects. So the methods which are available are all static, and most of them are similar to the methods which you have seen already in LINQ concepts. But I want to introduce you guys to two important methods. So one is enumerable.repeat and one is enumerable.range. So repeat is used for repeating a set of value, like one value if you want to repeat it for some number of times, so you can use this. And range is a method which gives you a range of numbers where you want to start that range and how many number of counts you want in that range. So these are simple methods, but this range method is very much useful in many of different scenarios which you might need in your coding. So by looking at the simple definition of range, it looks very nominal, very least important method, but there are some use cases wherein this plays a very good role. So we will look into the details in the code. So now I am in Visual Studio and this is a simple console application. So first I will show you the repeat method. So for example, if I say var numbers equal to, you can say enumerable. So you can see this enumerable class is available which comes from system.linq, and dot, you can say repeat. So it asks for an element and a count. So element can be like, for example, you can pass a int, you can pass a string, you can pass a char, whatever. So for example, if you want to pass some ABC and you want to repeat it for maybe like 10 times, or you can pass even a number. So this I can print it on the screen. So to ease the printing mechanism, remember I have told you a easy mechanism of printing when you are working with a set of enumerable objects. So that is convert it into toList. So once you convert it into toList, then you can say that variable dot you will get for each here, and inside which you can use the lambda expression to do the printing. So I'll do console.writeLine of n, and this semicolon should be outside. So now when you run this, you will see the ABC has been repeated 10 times. So this is useful in few scenarios. Maybe where you want to repeat a set of value for some purpose, then you need not create a static array like how you make it 1, 1, 1, 1 like this. You need not create. You can just say here 1 and how many number of times you want that, so automatically that list will be generated. So this is one useful thing. Apart from that, the next thing which we are going to see, that is even more important, that is dot range. So this range accepts two parameters. One is start, so from where you want to start. For example, I want to start from 1, and how many numbers you want. So I want 20 numbers, and I will convert this into list so that I can print it easily. So now when you print this, it prints 1 to 20. So this is somewhat useful, but using this range, now you can solve many other scenarios. So let me show you some 3 scenarios which we will encounter many times in your applications. First one is, for example, if you want to generate a set of even numbers or odd numbers. So I will show you how you can generate an even number. So maybe you want to generate a set of even numbers in a range of 1 to 30, from starting from 1 up to 30. In between you want to print all the even numbers. So you can say enumerable.range starting from 1 and 30 elements dot where. So this where condition you have seen already in your previous videos where we have explored the different methods available in LINQ. So this where we can give the condition. So where n mod 2 is equal to 0, then take that, and this I will convert into list. So now when you print, it will give you all the even numbers starting from 1 to 30. So you can see all the even numbers are listed. So if you want odd numbers, you can just make it to not equal to 0, then you will see all the odd numbers getting printed. So this is one useful scenario wherein you need not write much code to generate it. Now I will show you one more scenario, which is like you want to generate a set of alphabets, maybe generate all alphabets. So if the requirement is like you want to generate all the alphabets in one list, so you need not create an array and type A, B, C, D, everything. So what you can do is you can start from 0, and how many alphabets are there in English? That is 26. And instead of this, you can say dot select. So it will select 0 to 26 one by one, and what you want to do with that number, that you have to specify here. So here that number I will add with the character A, and this, instead of keeping like this, I will typecast it into character. So I will typecast this into char, and this complete data I will again convert into list. So now when you print this, you will see all the alphabets starting from A to Z has been generated. So this is very useful thing when you are dealing with some strings. Now there is one more requirement wherein you have to most probably in many of the applications you might have encountered a scenario where you want to generate random integers of some range. So for example, generate some 10 random numbers between 1 to 100. So this might be a scenario which you might have encountered many times. So that you might be writing a for loop and getting it, but using this enumerable.range there is an easy way of doing. So that is using enumerable.range and using the LINQ. So what you will do is, first anyhow you have to create a random object, so that is random, which comes from system.random. So I'll create a rnd is equal to new random. So this is the instance of random. Now here you have to write enumerable.range, what range you want to generate, that is how many numbers you want to generate. So starting from 1, I want 10. So 1, starting from 1, count is 10, so that means 10 numbers. Now on top of this you can say select, and inside you can specify rnd, that is this random object dot generate the next, and this next takes two values, that is minimum value and max value. So minimum is 1, maximum is 100. So you want to generate between 1 and 100. So this I will convert into again list to print it. Now when you print this, you will see there are 10 numbers which are random, and it is in between the range 1 to 100. So you can see it is 7, 46, 44. Stop this and run it again. You will see 63, 48, 60. Run it again, you will see 96, 30. So this is all random numbers which is getting generated. So you want in different range, so for example between 200 to 300, then you can just change here from 200 to 300 and you run it. You will find all the 10 digits randomly generating between 200 to 300. You don't want generate 10 numbers, you want generate only 5 numbers. You can say 1 to 5, and now you generate, you will get only 5 numbers. So this is very useful thing which you will be using in many of the bigger applications. So keep this handy. Now we will see some useful methods of LINQ. So these are a few important methods of LINQ which will be useful in many of the scenarios when you are working with different conditions. So let's see one by one. So first one is skip, which takes an integer parameter. Suppose you have a collection of elements, collection of items, and this method will skip the specified number of items. So you have 10 items. If you say skip of 3, it will skip the first 3 and return you the rest of the 7. Next method is take. So that also takes an integer value in the parameter as a parameter. This will take the specified number of items from the collection and ignore the rest of the things. So there are 10 elements, and if you say take of 3, it will take 3 first 3 and remaining 7 it will remove. Next is skip while, and it takes the condition, so it is similar to skip, but it skips based on the condition which you have specified. So it will skip one by one the items till the condition is matching, and once that condition is false, from there it will take the rest of the collection. And the reverse of that is take while condition, so that is till the time the condition is matching, it will take the values or take the items from the collection, and the moment the condition is mismatched, the rest of the collection will be ignored. All method, which takes again a condition, so you should be aware that wherever I have written this condition, that is nothing but it expects a lambda expression. So when you say all and with condition, so this condition it will verify in the whole collection, so it will check whether all the items in the collection matches this condition or not. If every element matches the condition, it will return true. If any single item also doesn't match, it will return false. Any, which takes again a condition, so it will check for this condition in the whole collection and see if at least one item matches this condition or not. If at least one item matches, it will return true, else it will return false. And contains is a simple one, wherein you just pass a value and in the collection it will check whether that particular value exists or not. So let's see in the code how this works. So I am in Visual Studio now, and here I have already a set of numbers. So now if you see where I'll say one variable output. Now if I say numbers dot, the first method which we seen is skip. So if I say skip of 3, and I'll convert this into list so that I can print it easily. So I'll say output dot for each and number such that console.writeLine of n. Yeah, so now if you used skip of 3, that means it will skip the first 3 and the rest of the numbers it will take. So when you run this, you will get the output starting from 19. So 19, 12, 85, you can see the first 3 is skipped. The reverse of this is take. So when you say take of 3, it will take the first 3 and ignore the rest. So when you run this, you can see only 45, 13 and 17 are taken, rest everything is ignored. So similar to this, we have skip with a condition, so that is nothing but skip while. So now maybe I can give a condition like where n is maybe odd number, so skip this till it is odd. So if you see n percentile 2 is not equal to 0, this is the condition for checking whether it is an odd number or not. I'll convert this also to list. So now the condition says skip while it is an odd number, so it will start skipping from the beginning. So first one is odd, so it will skip, second one is odd, it will skip, so till here it will skip. The moment this condition is false, so this is an even number, so here this condition will fail. So the moment it fails, from there rest of the elements will be taken, and till there everything will be skipped. So when you run this, you will see 45, 13, 17, 19 has been skipped, and from 12 it takes everything. So similar to this, we have take while. So this again takes an condition. So here we are saying take when this condition is satisfied. So when the condition is of odd number, so take till this matches. So first one is an odd, so this condition will satisfy, second will satisfy, third will satisfy, fourth will satisfy. But the moment 12 comes, this condition will not be satisfied. So from here onwards, the rest of the elements will be ignored and it will take the first 4 only. So when you run this, you can see only 45, 13, 17 and 19 has been taken, rest of the collection has been ignored. So this is another useful method which you can use. Apart from that, the next one which we have seen is all, any and contains. So imagine you want to check whether all elements of this given collection, so it can be a big number, so like we have taken a very small collection, there can be a bigger collection, and we have taken simple integers. Instead of that, if you can have a set of collection also of different objects. So suppose if you want to check whether all the numbers are maybe less than 100 or not. So this will be the output. So since this will be a true false, I cannot have a for loop here. I can just simply print this output itself. So now when you run this, it will say true because all the numbers are less than 100. So if do you want to check like if all the numbers are less than 50, then when you run, it will return false. So if you want to check if all the numbers are less than 90, then again it will return as true. So this is something which is useful when you are dealing with lot of objects. Maybe you have a set of employee objects and you want to check whether all the employees have salary less than 10,000. So this method will be useful. Similar to this, there is another one which is any, so which checks if any one out of this collection, at least one, satisfies this condition or not. So when you run this, it will return true because there are elements which are less than 90. Suppose if we give this less than 10, so that means we are checking if at least one element is less than 10. So in that case, it will return false. So again, this will be useful when you are using a set of objects of employees or something wherein you want to check if any one object at least satisfies one condition. So for example, if employees list is there and you say any where E is lambda expression where E dot department is equal to finance, so it will check in the whole object and see if at least one employee exists from that department. So it will return a true or false. So such kind of scenarios it will be very helpful. And the last one is numbers dot contains. So it is a simple method wherein you pass the value. For example, I can say 13. So it will just return whether in this collection 13 exists or not. So it is true. So if I say 5, so it will say false because it doesn't exist. So here one thing which you notice is when you see the definition, it is contains of generic type. So since our numbers is a list of int type, it is taking int. Imagine if this is a set of objects of employee class, then you can have the another overload of this method which is nothing but I-equality comparer. So where you can give a custom condition for checking the equality. So how you can do that is just create a simple class, maybe my check, and here you can implement I-equality comparer, and here you can specify what kind of thing it is. So in your case it will be an employee type or a student type. For the simplicity's sake, I will say int type as of now, and here you can say implement this interface. So when you implement this interface, there is a equals method which comes into picture. So since I have specified of int type, it is of 2 int parameters. If you specify employee type, it will be of 2 employee types. So inside this you can specify your own logic to check the equality. So here if you have 2 employees objects, and you can check the conditions which you want to check, and based on that you can return a true or false. So when you do a contains method, and in the second parameter you can say new of my check. So in this scenario, every time it will go to this equals method, taking each element along with the element which you have passed here, and it will check the equality and return. So based on that it will check whether this kind of condition satisfying object exists in this list or not. So this is a rare scenario, like maybe if you have any such scenarios in your application, you can use this method. I hope you found many useful things in LINQ, and you can use them in your applications when you are coding. It will reduce a lot of code. The logic which you can write in around 10 lines can be reduced to even 2 lines or 1 line using LINQ, which is very powerful. And there are other scenarios where LINQ is useful. For example, when you are working with entity framework. So very soon we will be seeing entity framework related series where we will be again using LINQ to deal with the data which is coming from the database. So I hope this whole series was useful. So if you like the videos, you found it useful, do subscribe our channel, do like our videos, share your comments and give your feedback using comments, and do share the channel to other friends who might find this useful. Thank you.